Alrighty, it is Eric Brantley, and I have with me Doug Miller. How you doing, Doug?
Hi, people. What's up?
Hey, that's the guy right there. Okay, so to those, a lot of you here, you know Doug Miller. To those of you that don't, he's like I said, filmmaker.
Someone knows Eric. Don't lie.
Hey, well, hey,
Someone
you,
knows who the
hey,
fuck
look,
I
man,
am.
you got friends on Facebook too, so.
I do. I probably have more followers than you on social media, but I'm not going to brag about that. But we'll leave
Oh
that
yeah,
aside.
absolutely, yeah, no problem, yeah, like a problem. So, one of the first things I do want to cover is. Let's talk about our influences and inspirations. Now, it is my understanding that Kevin Smith and Woody Allen had a good impact on you.
Yes, especially Kevin Smith. He was a major impact on my life for the last 15 years, almost 30, so that's half my life. So yeah, he's
Okay,
a
okay.
huge impact,
Now, like I said, I've seen some of
on
Kevin
my
Smith.
career in my life.
Right. I've seen some of him. Now, he's not. I haven't checked out his podcast yet. I do remember what it was called Babylon. I've seen like one or two movies he directed. Jersey Girl was actually pretty good with Ben Affleck, George Carlin, Jennifer Lopez, all them.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that too. Just so you're like, just watch this for Carlin alone. It's not one of Kevin Smith's best movies, but
Right.
Carlin's amazing. It's one of his
Oh yeah,
biggest
well, like I said,
acting
that's what made the
roles
movie good. Is the
ever.
fact that he was in it, and it was directed by Kevin Smith, and Will Smith had a part in there, and Liv Tyler was good. So it's like it was all good. And then one of the things I was going to ask you was this.
Um,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sure. No, I was just going to point out a fun fact for our listeners that originally Kevin Smith wanted Bruce Willis to play the Bruce Willis part, and it was going to be set in an earlier era, like in the late 80s and stuff, but he couldn't get Bruce Willis, so Will Smith, so it changed the whole timeline of the movie. So it's just a little fun, like inside fact for
Right.
anyone that cares, which I doubt is few people, but yeah.
Now, let me ask you
Anyway,
this:
go on.
what point did you? Do you remember exactly what point it was in your life that you came across Kevin Smith? Like you discovered him, and how did you realize that he impacted you?
Yes, I remember that moment very distinctly.
Yep.
It was it was it was the summer before my freshman year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So right before I went to high school, I was down in downtown Wyandotte. There was a game store downtown for import stuff. I was talking to one of the newer guys there that I didn't really know, and he asked me my name. I'm like, it's Doug. And then he quoted the infamous line from Mallrats of, "Do it, Doug!" And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And he told me about Mallrats. I'm like, oh, I should check that out. And I watched Mallrats, and at the end of the credits, it says, for more stuff, look at usq.com. And that's how I found out the whole Kevin Smith's library of, like, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, and then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Up to that point, this is about 2001, so, and then after that. And, yeah, like, his words and his writing really connected with me because, granted I was like a 13 or 14-year-old kid, but I spent most of my time hanging out in a mall in a particular store a lot of my time. So, like, Clerks and Mallrats pretty much were my life for several years early on in my teenage years. So that's why I connected with it.
Okay, that does make sense. Now, let me ask this. Now, is it similar with Woody Allen, or with Woody Allen? Is it mainly because he did everything from stand up to acting to writing, directing, all that? So, is it similar with him?
With Woody Allen, what I see is like I said, a true auteur. And auteur is someone who like writes and directs their own films.
Yes.
Especially with like Annie Smith, Manhattan, where he was really involved. I have a lot of respect for Woody Allen because Woody Allen, especially in his early years, worked his ass off. He made a film almost every damn year, which is unheard of in these days. He's a great writer. He's a pretty good actor too, and a great director. So yeah, despite the controversy behind the other shit I want to talk about, I think Woody Allen's a very Yeah.
Yeah, no, it took me just half a second after you said that. I was like, oh yeah, he's. Nobody really understood the whole thing with him marrying his stepdaughter, but it's like, hey, you know what? It's kind of similar to the. It's similar to like Yeah, go ahead.
In my opinion, dude, that's his business. That's not really anyone else to judge. Like whatever he does, like that's his own thing. Like,
I mean, just like anything else, everybody's entitled to an opinion. It's just like it's like Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Like, obviously he's a dog, and he's basically
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
And it's like, my thing is, okay, so that he messed up his marriage, and obviously he's an unfaithful husband, and he's a dog, just like most guys out there, but he didn't, like I say, what I think of him outside of being a president is not the same as what I think of him as a president. He was a great president, not so good of a husband, but you know what? Hillary's a keeper. Hillary's a keeper, obviously, so...
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He was mostly a good president. There's a couple things he did that I won't go into, but people that know politics will know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that he signed and enacted that, like the telecom treaty and a couple other things like that, but really kind of fucked things up for telecommunication stuff, like in the early 90s, that kind of messed things up. But overall, I thought Clinton was a pretty good president. But again,
right. And like I said, with Woody Allen, it's like, I didn't even learn until years later that happened with Woody Allen. I was like, I asked somebody, and I was like, what you think about Woody Allen? And she was like, yeah, that pervert. I said, what do you mean? Like, is it because of his humor or what? She's like, no, he married his daughter. Well, technically stepdaughter. And I was like, oh, I ain't even know that. He's your stepdaughter technically, because that was what's her name's child. And I was like, okay, well, he's still talented as a writer and as a director and talented as a filmmaker, like I said.
Just for the record, for the rest of the show, though, like, I am neither a Republican or a Democrat. I'm independent. Like, I'm in the middle of the aisles. Like, I'll make fun of both sides because generally politics is pretty absurd and hilarious. So
well, that's another reason. I think that's another reason I got so involved with talking about it a lot because, again, you got people like we talk about comedians and stuff, and they usually lean towards one side or the other, or they don't care. They're in the middle. Either way, they're joking about all the candidates in the process. They joke about everybody, so nobody's left untouched by what we talking about. Yeah.
Shots at everyone.
And like I said, right now, regardless of what we think about Donald Trump, whether we like him or don't, he is the primary target for all sources of political humor. Everybody is on this guy. He's...
Well, yeah, I mean, look what's happened last month, dude. Like, every day or every other day, there's some kind of story to report about something ridiculous that Trump did in office. And it's just, it's nuts. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm in the middle side of the aisle. But yeah.
Hey, 100%. Now, I'm what you call to the left of center. Like, I'm left on most of the issues. I'm right on one or two issues. I'll say this, that, comedian, I was listening to a podcast from Bill Burr, and keep in mind that he labels Hillary and Trump on the exact same level. He sees them both as the devil. They both are evil. They both are twisted. Now, here's where I disagree, and here's where I agree. Yep.
Hold on, Eric. Here's the thing. They're both, like, very, like, New York elitists. Like, they run in the same circles and the same crowds. So it wouldn't have been a huge difference electing or Trump or Hillary. It's just that Trump is obvious. Well, Trump's main problem is that who he put in his cabinet, like Steve Bannon, but that's a whole other issue we'll get to later. But
well, here's the thing. Here's where I disagree with Bill Burr at, and here's where I did agree. Now, me and him are, like I said, he's not for Trump, and he wasn't for Hillary either. Now, I don't know how he felt about Bernie, but based on what he talked about in his interviews with Seth Meyers and them, it would seem he preferred him over the other two. Now, here's the problem. Here's the question that he asked, and if I had a conversation with him, I would answer it with this, and this is where I wish I could argue with him. He said this. He said the number of people that were surprised and devastated and lost their minds and flipped out after Trump won, he's like, well, how come that same number of people, how come it wouldn't be that if Hillary won? And I said, well, I'm thinking like this. Let's be fair about it. Let's just pretend I don't like either one of them. Let's go with this. Even if I didn't like Hillary, if she won, my level of the amount of surprise that I would have for her if she won would be different. Because it's like, either way, somebody's going to be elected that I don't like. So my thing is, they're looking at it as this. They're looking at the person who has no experience has defeated the person who has 30 years of experience. Some people looking like, what? How did she lose to him? Like, that's why it's been different with Bernie Sanders. Now, he like I say, he was a senator for X amount of years. So it's like, of course, there's a reason why people react to it differently. This election has stunned, and it's different. It's not your typical election. That's why the media had flipped out when he won, because it's like a lot of left wingers were so surprised that they promised Hillary was going to win. But I'm sitting here going like, I wasn't surprised. I just was upset. But
election was historical, no matter how you cut it, because it's only the fourth time in history ever the popular vote did not win the election. And the last time that happened was Gore and Trump in 2000. But yeah, only 4 times in history has there been the electoral college.
That was Gore and Bush.
The popular vote. Yeah, I know. That was the last time, as I was saying.
Right.
2000. Yeah, Gore and Bush. Yeah. Came down the
right.
Came down to Florida, but yeah. But,
I mean, but like I said, but here's the thing. I'll even put it on a fair level. Well, let's look at it like. Right, and let's put it like this. Let's just say hypothetically, I voted for anybody. Like I said, I'm not scared to share my views. I didn't vote for Trump. Bernie Sanders was my guy originally, but he dropped out. So because I am loyal to the Democratic Party and that I lean to the left, Hillary was the next best choice I saw. So I was like, okay, well, for a couple reasons. One, I wouldn't mind seeing a woman in office. Now, then again, let me break this down here, because a lot of the right wingers that are listening to this are going to say, well, we don't mind having a woman in office, we just don't want her. Well, I feel the exact same way. I don't just want any woman in office. I don't want Sarah Palin or Ann Coulter being in the office. Like, I want somebody who shares ideas that are similar to mine. Hey, Alyssa Ward, Amber Martin. Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah. Like I said, Ann Coulter and Sarah Palin.
I agree with you almost 100% because, and I think the Democrats probably should have ran Bernie Sanders. They would have had a better chance against Trump. Mm-hmm. But they may still have lost. But
I'll be honest with you on this. People said if Bernie Sanders had stayed in, that they saying, oh, well, he definitely would have won, or he would have had a higher chance than Hillary. Well, my thing is, what I've learned from this is, first of all, look at the money Trump has. Go say it. What?
Well, Trump don't have that much money, dude. Don't kid yourself. Like, Trump is not as rich as the media portrays him as, or he himself portrays him as. But no, my personal feeling that if the Democrats ran Bernie, they would have had a better chance. They may not have won the election, but I think Bernie would have been a better candidate than Hillary. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, well, it's not just because of, like I said, his money and everything. Obviously, he's not the richest man in America, and I'm definitely not saying that. Yeah, he has more money than, he topped Oprah Winfrey, because her net worth is about $3.5 billion. His net worth went to $4.5 billion, and I'll tell you, he's not topping anybody like the Koch brothers or Warren Buffett, or not to mention Bill Gates, because Bill Gates, I think, is America's richest man. I might be wrong on that, but if...
You might be wrong, but I actually do think that Trump is probably in communication with the Koch brothers, but there's no proof of that yet. But that's speculation.
Trump's net worth, like I said, is only almost $5 billion. The Koch brothers individually they each are $40 billion. So, like I said, them two together would be added to $80 billion, which Bill Gates still tops that because his net worth is $84 billion. So I'm like, shit.